We are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicenda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard, and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help great players find amazing designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways, but the most fun out of all of them is just sitting down with those designers to play those games. They've already created them. We don't have to do that right now. Today is no different. We are sitting down to play Navathem's End with Sinta Posadas. Sinta, it's so great to have you on. Why don't you go ahead and tell people a little bit about who you are, what you do, and tell us a little bit about your game.
Hi, my name is Sin. You can get Navathem's End at thewatmnl.itch.io, but what it is it's a game where you play as agents of a tower trying to stop the apocalypse. This apocalypse basically happened around 800 years ago and nearly destroyed the world, and it's back, and you're trying to make sure that it doesn't wreak the same amount of havoc that it did a long time ago. So today we're going to be exploring that. Hopefully we can show a little bit of the mechanics, but we're mostly excited to just show it off. This game was part of Our Shores, which was a Kickstarter that happened a couple of years ago. And we have actually two people who are part of this, and Sam is going to be our GM for today. Go ahead, Sam.
Hi, my name's Sam. It's unusually early for me, but that's okay. You can find me on Twitter at BubblegumSam. I've also was on Our Shores, where Capitalites was funded, the urban Asian role-playing game, slice of life drama, and based off my real life and my real friends. It's a bit weird now because I'm in the process of cutting off some people who are represented in the game, so it's fun. in real life. Then I'm also doing Lumen Rider, which is the opposite of Capitalites. And I've been able to do that with the help of with Tony here. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Development is going on great. Sorry for not doing as many updates as I said I would. Um, this is to the people watching. All right, on to you, Tony.
Sam, you got halfway through that, and then got very self-conscious. I'm very excited about both of those games and all the cool stuff that's coming out of them. Lumen Rider just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's so much cool stuff happening in it. So the updates will be filled whenever they come out. You know what? Updates come when they come. The more you bug designers about updates, the slower you get your games. That's just a fact of life.
No one is doing any of this completely full time.
Yeah.
So
let's.
I wish.
Let's meet our other great player who I'm very excited to have back with us. That's Aaron. Aaron, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online?
Hi, I'm Aaron Lim. I am a game designer as well. I'm in Malaysia. You can find my work at Aaron Lime, EHRONLIME.itch.io. And you can also keep up with what I do. I have a newsletter at perfect-whole.ghost.io. The dash is an actual dash. I'm not calling myself a dash hole or something. And I'm on Twitter at Aaron Lime, EHRONLIME
That's so clever.
as well. But yeah, that's all I'm up to.
mind if I ask what the whole means? I've been meaning to ask you.
What, perfect whole?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
whole?
I mean, this is the thing, right? I think I really like games and designers who are very like self-indulgent to the not to the point of not from the point of like doing it unself-aware, but like if you know what you want and you know what you want to make, right? And then you can make that perfect whole that was meant for you, like that.
It's a Junji Ito reference.
Yeah.
It's made for me. Okay, all right, I get it.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's great.
I love that.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited to play. Super excited we could make this happen. There was a lot of, we've been talking about it for like 6 months, and it's been a game I'm just super thrilled to sit down and play. So I'm glad it's finally happening. If you have not checked out the game yet, we are going to be giving away a free copy during the actual play. Also, I'll set that up in just 1 second, because though I had plenty of time in advance, I totally spaced on doing it until just right now when I started talking about it. But with that said, we always use a few safety tools here on the stream. The game has one built in called the Wineback, but I'm actually going to hand things over to Sam to kind of lead us through that conversation in preparation for the game. Sam, do you want to talk us to us a little bit about what we're going to be using as far as safety tools goes?
All right. So one thing that I like to use at the beginning of each session, regardless of who I play with, it is the traffic light system, where we classify things into green, yellow, and red. So what this looks like is when we classify things under green, we are basically saying we want this. For example, let's say for Navathems, and I understand it's one of the not key features, but it was definitely present in writing. Actually, no, it is in the game itself. Polyamorous relationships. So if we do want to explore that, we put them under green. Okay. However, let's say someone is a bit cautious about playing romance in games. Maybe it's not their thing, so we'll put it under yellow. So green is for things you want, yellow is for things you may or may not want, depending on the context. So we ask first. So green is always going to be collective. And then we have red, which is things we absolutely do not want. So really have some stuff. For example, we have under red. I'll put it in the Discord chat. So we don't have harm of animals, pointless harm of animals under red. Go ahead and throw out things we can start with things we want to see under green, And if someone is a bit uncomfortable with that, we move that to yellow. Or if someone doesn't want that, we move it to red. It has to be unanimous.
Gotcha.
So yeah, let's go ahead. What do you? I think I personally want from me as a GM a lot of like I like drama, as in like very specifically like people are being slightly horrible to each other or maybe being quite horrible to each other, but for like very you know heartbreaking purposes. So how do people feel about that?
I am totally fine with that.
Yeah, I love tragedy.
All right. Anything else you want to see in the session? Sin, you created this game. What would you say is a green for you?
I love agent to tower dynamics, like I guess like agents interacting with like other agents, agents interacting with tower masters, and the kind of thing of I guess like exploring. It's pretty similar to yours. It's like exploring the web of relationships, how the tower relates to the rest of whatever city that we're gonna be in or town or something. And that's I guess like one. Also like I do like slightly creepy stuff, but like do whatever you want.
Yeah, like body horror. 'Cause I can go for that, but I'm not
like
sure about.
like spooky stuff if you want. One of the things in Navathem is that the almost apocalypse 800 years ago has kind of like made it hard for souls to cross over, as you will.
Yes,
So like there's always like some funny ghost lurking in the corner. So like that
Okay.
kind of stuff.
All right. Okay.
I almost took the spirit chaser class because I love the vibes of all that.
Right,
Too.
it's
So,
great.
yeah,
Right?
I would say I'm 100% down for that. I did not because anybody who's familiar with the stream, there is a class called Street Rat, which does have the ability that says you eat anything put in front of you, and as we have discovered over the last couple months on stream, that's a thing I'm really into as a player apparently, and so. Yeah, I don't know that I'm very excited to explore the world. I don't know that I have anything specific that I want to add to the list that isn't already on there.
All right. Okay. Aaron, how about you? Any greens?
Not really. Like we'll go with what we have already. I think that's pretty good.
Okay. Next up, yellows and reds. Yellows will again ask firsts, and reds are absolutely no. So.
We already have my kind of standard reds on there. I think for me, I'm usually pretty open to like romantic entanglements, but I do like just people checking in first. I think is between PCs specifically. Not, I mean,
Yeah, same. Like I don't mind if it's an NPC, but like if it's PC to PC, at least let me plot with you,
Yeah.
I'm not sure like what I would have is like reds and yellows.
And as
Other
always,
than the ones I said.
And as always, we'll use these as living tools. So, like, if we need to come back and add stuff on as we discover them, we can do that also.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If someone, for example, we have someone brings up spiders in the game, and someone doesn't like that, we can just put that under red in the middle of session, which actually brings us since we're sort of good with this, we can actually go to the wine bag. which I'm interpreting as, if we do not like a scene which has happened, we can always just pause the game. Anyone can just say pause, and then we will discuss how things can be redone. This also applies to, I would say this also applies to any scene. So, for example, if we are in a very particularly intense scene and Aaron wants us to fast forward through it, then we'll fast forward through it. We can skip the scene. We don't have to go into detail. Or if let's say if anyone needs to take a break, we can just say pause, and then we can leave and come back and restart the game. So basically every one of us at all times has access to a remote control of sorts, okay, to fast forward and stop or pause the game. Just keep that in mind. We'll probably take a break in the middle of the session. All right. So now that that's done,
one more thing before you go. I did open the giveaway. So if you type an exclamation point tower, you'll get into a chance to win a free digital copy of the game today. Otherwise, there's a link down below us all, as well as into the descriptions of the video that you can click on. That'll take you straight over to the itch page to check it out also. All right, Sam, all right. I'm going to hand things back over to you.
Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna reiterate three things, which has about the setting, just for the viewers, just for the people watching. The apocalypse is coming. Colossals roam the realm of Navathem. 800 years ago, the Core 7 polyamorous adventuring group defeated the cult, who tried to bring about the apocalypse. And as a result of that, magic has faded from the world, and ghosts roam the are trapped here in this realm. So in this game, you will play as agents of the tower. Agents dedicated to preventing the oncoming apocalypse, which is always present. The threat of which is always present, and through the form of the Colossals. So go ahead and introduce your characters. Let's start with Sin, and we go with Aaron, and then we go with Tony. We are going to be taking a lore agnostic route. So based on what your characters, who they are and their histories, we will be shaping the world around them. All right. So, awesome. Sin, go ahead.
Also, Sin, real quick, Aaron told me that we could take two abilities. So if you want to take a second ability.
I'll choose one in a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to have to pause here on my end. My dog is being...
your puppy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my character is called Hansel. His pronouns are he and him. He's a crafter. This is actually my first time being a player for my own game, so that's great. But and I've always kind of wanted to be a crafter. So I'm playing Hansel the crafter. He is a resident of the keep, so he's kind of always been here. Just kind of here. He's a little young and bright-eyed, and his hubris bond is Ansel, the Blade, because he seems like the type of character who'd he was tucked into bed with the stories of the Core 7, and he just kind of clung to the idea of Ansel the Blade, who was so steadfast in protecting his people, etc. That kind of knight in shining armor type of person. Because this is me, of course, playing Hansel. Hansel is very queer. And he is a lot smarter than he thinks he is, I think. and that he's pretty quick to make anything on the fly if you give him a little bit of time. So that's his main thing, crafting. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Karen, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, cool. I'll be playing 9 Ruby, the Shield, who is the character that is kind of like a defender or guardian kind of archetype. So I have a skill where it's like I am your shield. I get to do better. I can protect more people, and people that I protect get better at fighting or like at blood at least. And I picked 2 because last night Sin mentioned, what if we pick 2 special abilities? So I picked the second skill for Dancer Side and Divergence, which means on successful attacks I can roll blood to restore armor, which means she is very, very happy to jump into fights because she's good at kind of like regaining. I think it's more. I think I'm interpreting it as like when she's in battle, she feels more aware of like her surroundings, and so is able to like restore armor by like kind of like being, having that like combat awareness. Yeah, and my background is I'm a child of an upheaval. The quote that I chose, the only reason I'm alive is because I outran the rest. I don't know if I can ever forgive myself, but in many ways, I'm thankful to be alive. So I think my background is that like I think some horrible tragedy happened. I mean the Colossals are gone? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? But something happened in when she was younger. I'm happy to kind of like tie it to any other things. But like maybe some ghost or something like threatened her friends and family. But she's the only one who made it out alive. And she always felt kind of guilty about that, and because of that, she's very eager to like rush into harm and kind of like put her body in harm's way for kind of trivial reasons. Like she's got like a survivor's guilt, I guess, and because of that, she kind of idolizes Hela of the Black Wings, who did sacrifice herself for others, and in her mind, like that is the ultimate thing you could do for others. But it is putting herself into a lot of dangerous situations, which her remaining surviving friends are kind of like trying to discourage her from. That's me.
Wow. All right.
Awesome.
Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm playing Scrim. Uses he, him pronouns. I'm a street rat, so I'm low born. I took the quirk, I'll eat anything they put in front of me, just like how I'll clear any hurdle that comes my way. My resilience comes from kind of, I think, living on the edges, like on the edge of like acceptable culture, and I think I feel that more in a like I'm oftentimes kind of accepted into places that I shouldn't be, but not fully into them, so I kind of always feel like I'm about to be pushed out of them a lot of the time, and so there's kind of a need to constantly be considering what comes next and thinking things out in advance, but with a firm belief that there's always a strategy that will get you through a problem, just like there's always an approach that will get you through any meal. So yeah, I think they approach a lot of what's happening around them kind of with a canniness and a awareness that makes people kind of mistake their place in society a little bit. I chose for my my hubris bond, I chose Galda Pure Fist, which I liked because Galda is like a very noble figure, contrarily to my character, but is also this like very tactical and forward thinking member of the previous generation of martyrs. So yeah.
All right. So we have your characters. Now we need to get understand what their relationships are with each other. But I think first we'll do the tower. We'll generate the tower. Just give me a moment. Like my dog is making noise again.
It's okay. Yes.
Go ahead, Zin.
So I suppose, do you think our characters have known each other well?
That's a great question. Let's see. We've got a crafter.
Like, how long do you think your characters have been in this tower?
Okay.
Well, you mentioned your character being young. I think I perceived my character as being fairly young. Also, when you say young, what were you thinking age-wise?
I think young is like I don't know, like early 20s.
Okay.
I think we're talking early 20s.
Yeah.
So, you know, very, very idealistic, very optimistic. Their crafter side of them allows them to be quite pragmatic and stuff, but they're very much the type that's like still looking at things with very rose tinted shades and stuff.
I mean, I think my character is probably around the same age, maybe a couple years older, like mid-20s. But I feel like that puts us potentially knowing each other for at least a couple of years. Aaron, did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I kind of want to be like the youngest.
Okay.
Like so maybe not even out, like maybe 19, right? Not even in the 20s
Oh,
yet.
he's so young.
Yeah, like someone with this kind of death wish doesn't last long usually. I don't think someone young would have this. No, not only, but like I think, this notion that like he needs to go out and like be the strongest to protect everyone is like similar to Hansel, I guess, like very idealistic. Right? So yeah, I like the idea of like the youngest one is trying to be like, gonna protect everyone.
Yeah.
Between I guess for your character, between the other two, which one would you die for the most?
I love this.
I'm gonna play into that very hard.
I think it would be Hansel, more because I respect Scrim, like being the oldest one. Like I respect him. That like I think they're
Like,
most
Scrim
likely-
can handle themselves.
Scrim can handle himself. Hansel is. I also think like Hansel has like so much potential, like being a crafter, like someone who is smart in the ways that I'm not.
Cute.
What's your character's name again, Aaron? Sorry.
9 Ruby.
9. As in the number.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna make a note here. We'll die for. Hope nothing bad happens to Hansel. Okay. All right. Because you are the oldest, Scrim, what is your perception of 9 as the youngest and most reckless member of your crew?
Like I love it because I do think like I think 9 is tough and dumb. I think my approach is like not quite fatalistic, but it's always almost like they obviously want to test themselves. My kind of initial instinct is to say, hey, we could just avoid that problem. Like we do not have to throw your body at that problem. But also realizing that I think youth, like younger people, need a little bit of that space, like people who are like new to the tower and who are like need the ability to test their limits. And even if I would never want to test my limits in that way, there's probably like a little bit of annoyance, but also overwhelmingly like understanding that, like, I don't like that you do this, but I also don't feel like I need to stop you because there's something in you that's going to drive you to this.
It's to be young.
Yeah. Like I know that me trying to stop you will mean that the point at which I can't, you'll be overwhelmed by it. Like you continually throwing at yourself at these things is a way of you getting stronger.
Wow. Okay. So in
I
a
just
way,
don't like it.
you don't like it, but you won't discourage Nine from doing it.
No, I think the word is probably most likely permissive. Like I'm very like older sibling who's like, yeah, you really shouldn't do that, but like mom and dad aren't home, so like, you know.
So you feel you're permissive, but you don't feel responsible for what happens to Nine.
No, like and I'm probably a little smug when it doesn't work out great.
Okay, so I'm gonna write down here no responsibility.
Cool, bro.
Okay, and I guess it's interesting because both Scream and Nine are sort of like survivors, right? So they probably share that in common. Scream and Hansel. I'm not sure what to play with here. What do you guys think about Scream and Hansel's sort of like preliminary relationship scene as a resident versus a street rat? Yeah.
Well, I do think that Hansel is very, like, you know, friendly and community oriented in that I think they just like to get to know everybody.
Okay.
So inadvertently, I think a lot of people also know them, know him rather, and it's that kind of like because Nine is so like bullheaded into like trying to prove themselves, and because Hansel is the type who'd be quite worried about whether Nine is okay, and because Hansel also views Scrim as an important part of like this whole thing, because Scrim has like the innate like knowledge of like how to do stuff, how to take care of themselves and kind of others too, even though they're probably not going to admit it. So I think Hansel is in this like cute like little space where he can look up to Scrim, but also he can be kind of the the person that kind of like nudges Nine and be like, are you sure about that? Are we okay about that? That kind of thing.
Okay. How does Scream see Hansel?
I think Scrim is probably delighted to have Hansel in like as a fellow member of the tower, right? Like I think I see a lot of utility in Hansel. It is, I think, also kind of a utilitarian affection, though. Like knowing how to be prepared is one thing. Being able to prepare the things you need in order to execute a plan is a different thing. So I think I see a lot of value in that. I think, like, whenever. I think the tension like from Scrim's side is anytime you start to talk about being a resident of the keep, I think I get very uncomfortable.
Right.
Like you having a sense of place is unnerving for me as somebody who has never like this is probably the first time I feel like I have any semblance of that. And so like it's almost like professionally, like I'm so excited to have this person here, as long as they don't talk about like their home life at all. I'm great, and I think it's just like a fun, like an interesting tension to explore.
It'd be cute if like Hans is in this kind of like thing where I don't think he's doing it consciously, but he wants to kind of be like, hey, it's okay. We're all welcome here.
Right. No, I like that. Like,
I don't think it's intentional, but I think that's how it's coming off.
no,
It's
I
helpful.
like it, like a sense of welcoming. That's like, but that's like slightly overly affirming.
A little bit, yeah. A
yeah, I
little
like
bit
that.
overly friendly and a little bit overly affectionate. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right. So I guess between the three of you, we have not to say a perfect set of relationships, but a sort of like stable and functional one. I'm just gonna put it out there. The point of the drama here would be to test this and try and tear it down. If just this as a heads up, for y'all cool with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we had a question earlier, like how long have we known each
Oh
other?
yeah, I asked them when you went off to like
Oh,
Tenfu
yeah.
and Puppy.
Yeah.
How long have we all known each other? I think a couple of years makes sense.
Yeah, not too long, right?
Yeah,
that,
not too
some
long.
dynamics have
And I'm
settled,
sure
but, like,
those.
there's still a bit of distance.
Yeah, and I'm sure those 2 years haven't been consistent. Like I'm sure there's been like gaps in there every so often. Like one of us goes somewhere else or something.
Right.
We're colleagues.
We're peers. We're not friends.
Maybe Hansel tries to be friends, right?
Uh-huh.
I think Nine has the approach to like I don't want to get too close to anyone, but because I don't want anyone to mourn me if and when I die. But
I love it.
I want to care deeply about the people I work with. Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of like the idea potentially, like I like Scrim having probably done work with Hansel numerous times before. I do kind of like the idea of like, Nine, maybe I know you, but this is potentially the first time we have done something together. Like we have like bumped into each other and been around like the tower, but not like I've never been necessarily sent out with you. And maybe there's somebody else in our community who like knows like, yeah, if we send if we send Nine out with Scrim too early, like Scrim will just let Nine die. And so we can't. And so maybe we just reached that point recently where they're like, yeah, it's okay now.
Okay.
It's like wrangling two cats,
So based on what you're saying, nothing drastic has happened to create a bond between the three of you. You're just kind of there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. That means there hasn't really been like a major incident. Like there hasn't been a colossal thing in a couple of years. At most, you've been in the tower doing a bit of this, bit of that, low level executive stuff, but never like but never like dealing with a major threat. Does that make sense, Phil?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have this.
Actually, do you mind if I
go ahead.
suggest something?
Go ahead.
Can I complicate that a bit?
Yes, please do.
I think the first mission, Scrim and Nine went together. Nine got really hurt.
Oh no.
Oh.
Okay.
Protecting Hansel, probably, actually.
Oh no.
Right. And so and Nine brushed it off. It's like, oh yeah, that's just part of the job, right? Like that's what I do. This is like, you know, my hero academia deco nonsense. Just like, oh yeah, breaking all the bones in my hand, worth it just to punch a guy. So I think that happened once, and then there was a bit of tension, but then after, I don't know what would have been the
Hansel would have been so guilty if it was you know, that, like, because if you did that, if you tried to protect him and you got hurt badly because of it, I think like Hansel has been like destroyed by guilt.
So
Scrim is not destroyed by guilt at all.
oh shit. So Hansel has been carrying that guilt and a very subtle fear for Nine the whole time. Okay. Well, okay. What will happen if something like that happens again? What would Hans do?
I think he'd be a little overbearing in that, like he might either try to he might either try to do something a little reckless to make sure that Nine is out of trouble, or I don't know, something else. Like
You're gonna act like Nine to save Nine.
yeah. Or my other pitch is that before we go out on some ridiculous like mission, he's just gonna make like a power suit for you so that you don't get her. Like overwork himself to create something so that you don't get hurt.
Okay. Nice.
Ooh, I'm gonna
Nine.
say something.
Since you are quite reckless yourself, I'm going to assume that you have some scars on your body. Like, I don't know if you watched Trigun. I'm getting Vash the Stampede vibes. Like the way your body is sort of like been broken apart. Is that something Nine
I was
has?
thinking
Or
of Noi, actually, from
no?
Dorohedoro.
Oh, okay. No.
Like, who's that buff lady?
So you're not going for the scar route. You're going for the.
I think maybe this, but like with the scars, right? Like I think she wears them proudly.
Yeah. I'm currently looking at pictures of Noi.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay, we've got that settled. That's the basic relationships to your characters. Why don't let's go ahead and build the tower. So the tower, yes. Where is it located? Sin, give us a location. Give us a place where one of our agent towers is, and you can add on to that.
Let's see. Maybe it's in I don't think it's in a big city. I think it's in a kind of a slightly smaller city, but there's like enough, I guess, like demarcation and stuff like that. There's enough like splits in the place to make it a little big, but it's not like huge. I think it's more to the, I suppose, like countryside. Maybe we're in a place that's like a little surrounded by like rivers or something.
Or
Yeah. It's something very. We're like, if you look outside, like I don't know, the maybe gates of this keep or this town, there's just like forest as far as the eyes can see. That kind of place, you know.
okay.
Is
So
it
kind of like Arlen.
Is
Sorry,
it like
Tony, go ahead.
is it a town that popped up around the tower, or is the tower here separately from the town?
What do you guys want?
I mean, I kind of like the idea of like maybe there would be a town here without this tower, but that ostensibly that it's kind of the other way around. Like this tower was built, and then over time the town
People
kind
have
of popped
propped
up
up.
around it. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay. In which case, this leads me into the next question, which is, what is the tower's relationship with the town around it? Yeah, who wants to go ahead and answer that? Aaron, would you like to sort of like give suggestions as to what is the relationship between the tower and the town, especially considering the town was built around the tower?
As in, more about how how the tower views the town.
And vice versa, I think. Yeah, vice versa.
I think it's probably like quite utilitarian in the sense that like, oh, did you know that like if it grew up organically around the tower, right? Then it's more like, oh, this is kind of like just you know, like mining towns are like built around like the mining community, right? Like, so it has that kind of relationship where like the tower makes sure to like keep all the infrastructure in the town up to date. Not so much for the residents of the town, but because like, oh, it helps the tower function better, right? There's this kind of like very like business transaction between the tower and the town, but also a very protective one because the town like wouldn't exist without the tower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a bit more altruistic than a mining town in that sense that like the tower does want to have the towns, or ultimately has the town's interests at heart. And I think similar to and I think in the other way the town is kind of like, look, it's great that we have the tower nearby because like agents will help us with stuff all the time, and they're kind of like reliant on like having this relationship. So I think it's a bit weird in the sense that like their relationship to like other towns are not as strong, because usually you want to build your strength through community, right? But like this town, they're like, no, we got a tower, right? So I think maybe some of the other towns view this town as like, he's stuck up just because there's a tower nearby. You think like you're all that. I think that's how it feels.
Okay. Sin, Tony, would you like to add on facts about that? I think especially considering, I think it's interesting for Tony, for Scrim, sorry, because you used to live in the streets. Did you used to live on the streets of this town? Or was it some other city?
Yeah. Let's see. It's a small town. Let's say no. It's not. It's like it's almost like I think I came here kind of seeking to change like my lot. Like I'm from a larger city, and kind of I found myself here, kind of having left the like. Kind of being completely not necessarily cast out, but realizing like there was no way for me to advance in the large city that I lived in, coming out to this smaller town and just trying to make myself useful at first. And so I think probably maybe the town is a little bit more open-minded, but part of my like it only serves to reinforce my outsider feelings, right? Like I'm one of the few people who's not from here. And there is maybe this little bit of an idea that this town thinks it's better than some of the other surrounding ones because of the location of this tower.
Right.
And so like I think I perceive that a lot, and even though I don't necessarily think it's something that the townspeople necessarily intend, it just kind of reinforces the fact that I don't feel like I belong here a lot of the time. And so, and I love the idea that maybe the town's gotten to the point where there's starting to be people who are no longer dependent on like it's just reaching that point of like now the town is big enough that there are some things that don't fully revolve around the tower, even though that is the thing that largely dominates the town. But they're just kind of just realizing that.
All right. What would you say is, I guess, are there any cultural, aesthetic, or any other differences between where you were and where you are now?
Oh,
For Spin?
see, I think I'm from a place that's cold and dark, and I love kind of maybe that this is a more pastoral kind of forested place. There's like like in the town I'm from, survival is a matter of fact even for wealthy and high class people. Like it is a town that has grown and is big, but the surrounding landscape is harsh and unforgiving, and life seems easier here overall.
All right, cool. Okay, this one's for Hansel. I just want to know, what is, when you say you're a resident of the keep, what is that keep? Does that refer to the town this is in? Like, did you grow up here? Have you been here your whole life?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's like the idea of it, that like I think the tower maybe preceded. Yeah, I mean, because it was built around it, right? So like the tower's been here for as long as I remember. It's older than me. When I was growing up, the more rebellious kids in town used to do little dares, like I dare you to walk up to the tower. Like do those little things. I never joined in on those games. I don't think Hansel was a type, but I think he always had like a very big like modicum of respect for the tower, in that I think, because he was brought up with stories of the core seven, I think he attributes a lot of like the reason why we even have good things to the tower. I think it's that kind of a sentimentality. And I do think that, like, to add a little danger to our little town, I do think that the forest around us, or the forest like outside, does have like monsters that crawl out of it every so often. And I think the tower has always managed to kind of beat it back, or at least prevent really bad casualties from happening. So, I mean, loss is inevitable. That happens. But I think Hans is of the mind that if the tower just had more people, maybe more hands on deck, it'd be able to like protect us better, something like that. And I think sometimes he thinks about like bigger cities and wonders if those bigger cities have towers that protect everybody better. Like he wonders what that looks like in like bigger places. But for as much as he wonders about that, I think he's very comfortable actually, and he doesn't quite desire to move anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So the tower, just to reiterate, is nice and pastoral. It's calm. It's not like the cold, dark city where Scream used to hang out in, live in, survive in. A lot of rivers, a lot of forests filled with creatures, which the tower protects the town from. It's a utilitarian, state of still living. The town trusts the tower, and it was built around it. I get the feeling that again, this is something that I want to destabilize as a GM. So so this is what we'll be doing. All right. I think last things before we set up. I undo a few things. Head Tower Master. We don't have time to do a lot of NPCs, but we'll do like one or two. This Head Tower Master. So basically, they're the highest authority in the tower. They can veto any operations or aspiring agents. They are responsible for interfacing with the local authorities, so on and so forth. The head tower master is basically the boss of the tower, this particular tower. And I guess because of the relationship of the town, the head tower master is also the head of the town by extension. Wow, how does this not descend into feudalism or fascism? That's an interesting question. Actually, yeah, is there a problematic relationship between the headmaster and the rest of the town? Because they have all the power, don't they?
That does get dodgy, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well,
If there is, Hansel is oblivious. Like, I think he's just that kind of starry-eyed boy that just is like, it's all good, you know. So like, it's up to you guys to decide. But I do think that there must be something off there. Like, if
Yeah.
it's not the head tower master, it's like his vice mayor. It's like somebody
the regent or something, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
gonna say strict term limits.
I like the idea that like even the head tower master doesn't think that there's a problem. It's like it makes sense. Surely the town has to serve the tower, right? That's just a matter of course. There's no politics behind it. It's just the way things need to be.
I want to I want to say that there's no politics because you've snuffed out.
Yeah, I mean that's their view, right? But like,
Yeah.
really, and potentially this is the thing, like what Tony brought up, right? There's starting to be the town is starting to build its own identity besides the towers. So I think maybe the young people of the town is like, yeah, fuck this tower nonsense. Maybe they have been like lax in like taking care of like some of the some of the jobs around town, right? Extending the tower has responsibility to other towers and to like the rest of the region, right? So where previously when they were just setting up, it's like, okay, it's easy to like just focus within your borders because like, you know, you are just trying to keep your resources, but now your resources are growing, you get sent to like fight for other towns, and like it's like, okay, what's the kids are like, yeah, what has the tower ever done for us? Like we're gonna do our own thing.
It's that early like pioneer to settler phase where it's like before everybody was so concerned about just doing the things, and now there's enough space to be like, we don't actually need to do that.
Yeah, and there's like a bit of friction, right? Like the like the wardens, like the town wardens that are not part of the tower are like, oh, we have to clean more and more graffiti that has to do with like the tower and like you know, stuck up ivory tower assholes. And then now some tower people are being sent into the town to keep the peace as well, to improve relations with the town.
I don't know if I want to be cops or not.
Well, you're not cops, not yet. Maybe like in a few years, yes. Probably on the-
I don't think.
What do you think? Sin?
Feel free to like veto this if it's
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah.
If there's a discussion about whether we should go out into the town and get involved, I love that tension. I don't know. I love the tension of some of us are out in the town.
Yeah.
Cops.
When I said that there's something funky happening with the vice mayor, I thought like I was thinking more like they're doing some cult stuff in their basement. I don't know.
Look, cop stuff and cult stuff aren't mutually exclusive.
No, they're not.
So,
If it's honestly at this point in time, because the tower is one of the only things protecting everyone from the colossals. What differentiates the tower from the cult? You know what I mean? Like where do you draw the line?
Well, for one, it's typically the cult summoning the colossals, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but anyway, it's all about control, right? It's all about protection. Either way, the result is, especially in this town, the result is that the headmaster is the one controlling the town with the with good intentions, obviously, doesn't see a problem with that. So yeah. Just to ask the question again, you're not really cops, right? Not yet.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
like it's hitting there with good intentions.
Yeah, I do
It's,
I like an internal tension of the tower being, is it our responsibility to exert our authority over the town or not? Like, is an interesting tension, right? Like, essentially, a power that was always assumed is now being questioned, and so there is a conversation about what that looks like. But I like that there's no resolution at this point.
Yeah. Maybe it's less the going in and helping the wardens, but like more like, oh no, they're going in to improve relationships. It's more like youth outreach programs, right? It's like, yeah.
Okay.
Right, like the
Yeah.
cops are copping it up, and then and are calling the towers like, hey, we're kind of like the politicians that are brought in to like talk to the community to say like, look, they are still taking care of you. Please don't deface any monuments. Please don't like blow up any statues.
Yeah.
I walk up on two kids about to get in a fight, and I was like, "Hey, I see that you're raising your fist, but you know who the real Rose Fist is?" And I tell
Oh
them,
no.
real strong youth minister energy coming in.
Oh my god.
Well, the tower is a cult. You're worshipping the Core 7. You build your identity around the Core 7.
I love
You know.
I love this sort of dynamic because like in my I mean, like, this is so funny to me because like in my home game what is a home game anymore during this time, what they keep trying to toe the line is because the tower is supposed to be politically like uninvolved in that the powers that be, quote unquote, cannot use them for whatever this or that, but like that also means sometimes they have to like weasel their way into places so that they don't get barred by like people like bureaucracy and shit like that. So it's kind of funny to me that this is what's happening in this game.
You're basically the bureaucrats.
Good
Yeah.
lord.
Okay. Give me a name for this headmaster, and their regent as well.
I'm so bad at naming things.
Chad, if you want to give us a name for the regent and the headmaster, go ahead and type them in right now, and we'll pick out some names in a second. We'll get some crowdsourced names. Also, Chad, if you joined us recently and you're following the channel, you can hit !tower to get entered into a chance to win a digital copy of the game. But go ahead and type some good headmaster and tower regent names into chat for us.
You can even put in your own name.
Yeah, I'm about to say, otherwise it's just going to be Vanitia and Richard are going to be their names. That's it.
Yeah. Vichard. Combine this two. No. Vichard.
CM fragment throughout Orpheus.
Orpheus. Sure, let's use Orpheus. I like Sandman. Do you like Sandman? I like Sandman. Okay. Orpheus. He, him, they, them. Vichard. Okay, Orpheus and Vichard.
As long as Fit is okay with it, we can fuse them together into one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Orpheus and Vichard. Are they a gay couple? Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's all good in Navathem. So yeah. But that's interesting, right? Because the headmaster and the regent are together. That's even more of a huge power imbalance. Because if you see that in a corporation or a startup, that's a red flag. So. keep your personal life from your professional life. Okay, Orpheus is the headmaster. Richard is the regent. Let's just use any pronouns for now because.
What are they like?
What are they like?
What are they like?
Mm.
Are they Are they strict with the rest of us? Are they like how do they handle us?
That's a good question.
I mean, the way they're written, though it doesn't have to be this way. People can make whatever choices they want. It's totally open ended based on the questions. I do like one of them being like, "It's fine," and the other one being like, "No, it's not." Like,
I see that it's that dynamic.
yeah. Especially if we're gonna ship them, I feel like given the tension we've set up, it does make more sense for the Tower Regent to be the stricter of the two.
Yeah, it's like the headmaster, like, it's a public holiday. Nope.
The Tower Regent's like, no, it's not. We've got stuff to do.
Do you okay? Sorry, go ahead.
The head Tower Master is like, our agents need rest. They need work-life balance, and the Tower Regent's just like, we have monsters outside of our gates.
How do you what is I think I do want to ask the open question to the table, like what are your characters' relationships with power, especially in regards to these two?
Yeah,
Tony, go ahead.
I think I don't think I view my character as having a strong relationship with either of these two individuals. And he probably goes out of his way to avoid them both. Probably for no reason. I think he's very cautious about approaching anyone in power and only does so when he has to. He actually probably interacts with the Regent more and only over practical matters of missions and other things like that. And needlessly avoids the headmaster.
How about the rest of y'all? Do y'all have like a positive or negative relationship with with them? Or an opinion?
This is Aaron's personal opinion. Is that in public the Regent is the strict one.
Okay.
In private, the way around.
Okay. Well, we're not gonna see that.
Yeah.
That's not gonna.
But Aaron wants it on the record.
On the record.
Yes.
This is the Aaron opinion. Like,
extended law. Okay.
Yeah, extended law.
Okay.
Office is the one that takes charge. In home.
All right.
But Nine's Nine's view of it is, I think she looks up to Vichet, the Regent, because he makes the hard decisions, makes the sacrifices that needs to be done.
Okay. All right.
I think interestingly, Hans is a little dodgy of the two Tower Masters, because I think when they were much younger, they got peer pressured into doing some kind of dare that had him doing a little some light vandalism on the tower. And I do think that he doesn't know if he ever got caught about it. He doesn't know if the Tower Masters have ever known about it, but it has stuck with him, and he's secretly worried that they know, and that punishment is coming. but he's whenever he sees them around, he's like, ooh.
Scrim has 100% fed that anxiety repeatedly. Consistently, but yeah, you're right to be concerned. Absolutely.
Yeah, your report should be 2 lines. I did the job and I got home. Done.
I just painted a little funny face on the side of the tower. I was 16.
So when you say light vandalism,
It's it's on your record. Okay. All right. Let's set up some let's set up some stuff, and then we'll go for a break. Basically, the big thing, the big mission, all three of you are assigned to, is you're assigned to do some recon work, because outside the city, you have gotten word that there is a colossal. You've never fought a colossal before. You've never seen one. You've only heard rumors of one. Maybe some of you have doubted that the colossals actually exist, but there have been rumors of a colossal reawakening nearby, and it may be headed towards the town. The Tower Masters tell you that if you do find a colossal, do not engage. And if the colossal does exist, it's going to require the help of the entire town to defeat it. So you know your mission. You know your mission. But before we start, each of you please roll 1d100 for threads.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Starting it early.
Yes. It's a real kick in the nuts.
I got a 36.
36.
Okay.
Let's see what that is. What page is the threads on? Is it in the bookmarks? No.
It's the.
I got it up right here. So 36 is something that happened during your latest mission triggered a memory that you're subconsciously buried out of self-preservation. What has come back to haunt you? Why did you forget all about this?
Wow.
Good. 60.
Okay.
16?
60.
60 is...
Go ahead.
Someone or someones that you were once in an intimate relationship with has resurfaced. Have your feelings for them changed? Have their feelings for you changed?
I like that.
I got 29.
29.
Well, Sin, you obviously have this memorized. So go ahead. You just go. Your actions during one of your previous missions inadvertently shook up some delicate political ties between two or more factions in the city. This could spell trouble for your tower.
Oh dear.
Wow. Okay. So this is like the third or fourth episode of our television series. Basically, Hansel has done something. Hansel has done something to shake up the relationship between the tower and town. This has in turn brought up issues with bad memories for Scream, and 9 is just having sorry, what's 9's pronouns again?
She, her.
She, her. 9 has a romantic fling coming back.
Exciting.
Yeah. Okay, we can flash. Let's flash this out now before we.
Yeah.
Just sort of like give the seeds of what's happening at the beginning of the episode, like last time on Navathem's end type thing. Yeah.
Sin, do you want to kick us off because yours feels like it has some very recent things.
God, what would it be? What would my sunflower of a child have done? Did he maybe mix up documents that he was supposed to pass along to somebody else, and it ended up in somebody else's hands, which this person interpreted as the tower being disrespectful somehow to the actual internal government of the keep.
Yeah.
I don't know what communication it was. Hansel has no clue because he doesn't read other people's mails. That's bad.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe because he was given a vague instruction. You know how you're given instruction by somebody that you're really nervous about, and because you're kind of nervous about this person, because it was probably the Tower Regent who gave it to me, right? You're so tense that when you get to the place where you're supposed to do the thing, all of the instructions are all over the place. So I think he ended up giving it to somebody else who has a position in the city,
Yeah.
and that person interpreted it as for them, and
Yeah.
it's not good because I
Yeah.
don't know what the contents of the letter are,
Yeah.
but like I think the next day Hans woke up to like not good things
Yeah.
being talked about in the tower.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it would be interesting if the contents of the letter were like, sort of like, there is a feeling that whoever read letter, maybe the mayor, maybe the city guard head, it's sort of like inching towards fascism a bit. Like if you're inching towards,
Oh, no.
it feels as if like the tower is trying to get control of the town more. You're not sure what was in the letter, but that's what you see and that's what you hear, right?
Mhm.
Basically, the town is losing trust in the tower because of this oopsie you made. So it's now your issue isn't the graffiti anymore. It's it's this, and that could cost people's lives. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm,
Um.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah. Nice.
Can I suggest something?
Go ahead.
What if this is because the region thinks it needs to be done because we've directly tied to our current mission, right? A colossal is coming. We basically need to conscript everyone in the town to defend, right?
Yeah.
And people, but they don't want to get everyone panicked by outright saying a colossal is coming. So it's just like in hindsight, without the context, it just seems like, why are you conscripting people from the town? This is
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. And why was it like through letter? Why didn't we just set up a face-to-face meeting?
Okay. Tony, what memories do you have of Scrim? You don't have to be too detailed now, but yeah, what's the
I mean, if we know a colossal's coming, maybe this isn't the first time I've seen a colossal. It will be the first time I've faced one, but maybe it's not the first time I've seen one. So maybe I have a very long, like, repressed memory of when I was like leaving my city when I was like, in my very early teens, maybe even a preteen, getting ready to make my way across the countryside, and like a day out, like I saw a colossal in the distance and just like lost it and ran. Maybe I wasn't even alone. And I've always just told people like, oh, I left the city on my own. But that I had a companion with me, that I like bolted, and I haven't seen them since.
Drama.
Nice. Okay. 9. Who is your lover, if there is one?
I'll just go into it's a one shot, right? Let's just go hard, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that they were dead, right? The only reason I'm alive is because I outran the rest. I left my weapon.
You outran them.
Yeah. No, I think actually, I think actually they sacrificed themselves for me.
Oh no.
But it didn't take ?
Oh, okay.
I think they're a ghost. They're ghosts.
Oh.
All right.
Their spirit has
Ghost
not
lovers,
departed.
huge problem.
So, what do you have a name for them? Name and pronouns.
Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna pull from my name list.
All right. Well, okay. So right off the bat,
I think pronounce they them. Stupid. Their name is Constant.
okay.
Yeah, Constant Return.
Okay. I'm just gonna, we're just gonna acknowledge that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's call for a break.
Awesome.
Let's go for a break. Let's reconvene in. It's 9:49 now. Let's reconvene at 9:55.
Okay, sounds
Sure.
good.
So we're going to take about a
Okay.
5-minute break. If you're out there watching right now, we are playing Navathem's End. You can go check it out at the link right below all of our faces. You can also check it out. It's the same link in the show description. If you would like to get entered into a chance to win a free copy, hit follow on the channel, type in !power. Otherwise, head over there, check out the game. It is absolutely gorgeous. We've just finished all of our setup. Character introductions, defining our tower, and now Sam, when we come back, is going to try to knock it all down. And so we will be back in just about 5 minutes. If you're out there right now, we'll be back in just one moment, but I wanted to take just a second to remind everybody that if you want to check out any of our past videos, or if you've got a dash for part of this one, you can always check them out over on a YouTube channel. There's a link down below if you're watching over on Twitch. Also, I don't know why this next image is the wrong size, but it is a little bit. This Saturday, we will be over at Hex & Co. West location in New York City for free RPG Day. That's actually going to be on the 25th. I think the date is wrong on this one also, because I'm a full calamity of errors right now. But we are going to be hanging out with a bunch of our friends, folks from the Homebrew crew, Super Dylan, Banana Chan, from Game and Curry, along with some other local RPG designers, to play games, have some giveaways, and have a good time over in Hex & Co. in New York City if you live in the greater NYC area. Please, coming up, I'll be traveling up for Philly for the day. Would love to see you. If you are not in New York City, you should go to whatever your friendly local game store is if you feel comfortable on Saturday to check out Free RPG Day. It happens at different places around the world, but it's a great event where they have a lot of phenomenal free giveaways, host events, other stuff like that. Check out what your friendly local game store is up to. We're going to be back in just one moment to keep on playing, but we will be taking about a week off starting next week because I will be out of town. But before that, we do have a couple other shows coming up. Tomorrow we have a game of Frontier Scum that we are playing. Frontier Scum is an Acid West Western RPG by Carl Druid. We're going to be sitting down and playing that with part of the creative team. I would love to have you come back and join us for that. And then tomorrow at 4 p.m., we've got another episode of Funeral Party, which is our monthly talk show with Jarrett from over at Exalted Funeral. We'll be doing some giveaways and other stuff with that around 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. We're going to be talking a lot about Exalted Funeral Con. I Know What You Rolled last summer, which is coming up on the 15th, 16th, and 17th of July. It's a fully online convention. So come back tomorrow if you want to hear more about that or check it out. We'll be back in just one moment. And we are back here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel playing Navathem's End. We are just finished our setup phase, setting up our tower, the town around it, some of the key NPCs at it, as long as introducing our characters and figuring out their relationships with each other. Now that we've got all that beautiful stuff set up in exactly the way we want it, Sam's going to try to knock it all down with drama. Sam, why don't you take us back in?
Okay, so last time on Navathem's End, Hansel accidentally worsened the relationships between the tower and the town. The tower is the not military organization, is the Colossal Hunting and Apocalypse Prevention Society in Navathem. And in this town, with the tower, we have a town that has been built around the tower as time has went on, and there has been a power, sort of like a tension of power between the headmaster Orpheus and the regent Vitcher versus the rest of the town. And Hansel has accidentally worsened it by releasing a conscription letter, which to the town looks as if that the tower is trying to make a power grab. But the only reason the tower is doing that is because there's a colossal nearby. So says the rumor. At the same time, we have Scrim grappling a recently unearthed memory of having experienced a colossal before. and having experienced a colossal recently. And then we have Nine, who has a sort of like a death wish, wants to be a martyr, haunted by the ghost of constant return. They them their old Nine's old lover. So that's where we were at the end of last session. At the beginning of this session, we open up on the tower itself. The three of you not going about your daily duties. I think if this was like first or second episode, we would have like the three of you describe what your daily duties are and how you go about them. But I don't think this is the context of that. Obviously, the situation is getting worse, and especially because Hansel knows it's his fault. And so yeah, the three of you are currently grappling with some heavy shit. So my question is, my question is, there's like a group of townsfolk, not necessarily doing like a gentle protest outside the tower in the town itself. You can tell that tensions are going to be high, and you know that it is inevitably the fault of you three, specifically Hansel. So I'm just going to ask, like, at the beginning of this episode, what are you doing now? Like, how are you coping? I think that's a good question. How are you coping?
Hansel is, I guess, kind of panicking a little in that, like, they're not sure what to do. I think Hansel has probably come to scrim as a sort of like, it's my fault. It's absolutely it. I did not know that it would mess this up that bad, but this is completely my fault. I don't know what to do. Do I just go to the Tower Regent and say it was my fault? Do I talk to?
Are you
the
ready
city
for that
official?
conversation?
I don't know. It's just like, but I mean, the Tower Regent needs to know, right?
Well,
Right?
I mean, yes, but there's a group of people protesting outside, so he knows the town is upset. There are, it's not entirely unclear why they're happy. I mean, knowing that you did it in the long term is a good thing. In the short term, I don't know that it furthers the situation at all.
Okay.
Unless it's going to make you feel better. If that's the point, then I mean you could do it. But right now, I don't know that it does anything except for divert us from actually resolving the issue.
Yeah, and I think the main issue is we have a colossal on the way. We have to figure out whether it's coming here or not, and I think that's the more pressing issue that we need to like sort out, and then we can deal with the rest of it afterwards.
Yeah,
Probably.
like this is you as you find me, like I'm pouring through books, like looking for information on this Colossus as you come in and are like, oh, like I'm really upset. I'm just like, yeah, it's whatever.
I think Hans like nods, still a little nervous, and it's like, I guess I can go make something that'll help us figure this out or something, right?
What
Right?
physical object can you craft that will help solve political tensions?
Oh no, I was talking about the political tensions. I was talking about identifying where the Colossus is.
Well,
Like maybe if I concentrate my brain on something else, Hans won't like vibrate into space.
Interesting. This feels like a move you can make. Definitely under Crown, because you're trying to use this, right? You're trying to like
Mhm.
If you're trying to bring to light something, does that work? Bring to light.
I was trying to make the bring to light move actually.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
I think it's you.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So I do have an ability called Move Fast, Keep Alive also too that'll matter for this. So I'm gonna roll an extra D6 on my attempt to bring to light. So which is great because that first one was a 1, the next one was a 6, and then we've got a 3, which gives us a 10 overall. Is this a flat roll or is this modified by a stat?
I don't. I think it's modified by your.
It's a crown move, correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's going to be a 12 all day long.
Oh damn. Okay, everything becomes clear to you, and you learn something a little extra that could give you an upper hand. Take note of this for future interactions with your target. I'm going to give you an advantage token because
Okay.
you sort of get hold of what this thing is. Why don't you? I'm just gonna tell you what the colossal is. This is a concept submitted by Agent. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Ewan Jones. It is the Carnelian Monarch, of which you've heard legends about, but you've never, which you've seen as well before, in a previous episode. It is an immense butterfly, seemingly made of molten gemstones, with wings and a body that hardens when it stays completely still. Known to lay dormant for centuries, sometimes people will build entire cities on its back, not knowing the destruction will fall upon them when it decides to take flight one day. Guess what? The town is built on.
Oh, God. We're on it, aren't we?
You're on the colossal.
Uh,
Book notes state that sometimes high deposits of gems and veins of other precious stones near the area can be indicated that the space is a resting place for a Carnelian monarch. But a way to determine this from regular mineral deposits has not been determined. So I guess a big reason why the town is the way it is because the people here have been mining the creature, basically. And I think that makes the situation in the town worse, because basically basically based on this information, if you tell this to the regent and the headmaster, they're going to force the town to stop its major economic resource.
Is that, I mean, do we want to say that that's what kind of pushed the town, like mining these gems is what pushed the town out from underneath the tower's thumb and gave it kind of the space that it's had?
Yes, exactly. Yep. But the three of you know this, but the headmaster and regent don't. So.
Well, like, I flip the book around and walk everybody through all that. So, I mean, I guess we should talk to the headmaster. At least someone should. I don't think the conscription at this point is the overall concern, though. I think,
I think we need to evacuate, don't we?
The colossal is coming is that we are on top of one. Right.
We need to evacuate, is what it is, right? That's a smarter thing to do, right?
Evacuate, stop mining,
Something.
put it to sleep, bore down into its brain and kill it.
Anti-Colossus bomb?
Kick dirt.
That would be an idea. Oh no.
How do we definitely have to talk to the tower regent.
Otherwise, the whole town is in danger. So we need to move and move fast.
Yeah, I'm sure we can resolve the problem without much trouble.
All right.
Does the tower have skyships of some sort?
Skyship. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it has it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
could I equip these skyships so that they can carry more people than normal?
A whole
Like-
town, though.
Not a whole town, but like, one slowly, like over
At least all the people in the tower, though.
I'm not just gonna go for the top, but like one batch by batch, I guess.
I
is
think
like
you
the
could,
best that we
but
can do.
you might have like a lifeboats on a Titanic situation, because there's no way you can do this without leaving people behind. So I mean, you can do it, but
How do we get them all out? Do we just like run them out of the town right now?
I mean, so we could tell them, and they might just leave. But I mean, I don't know how trusting they would be of any of us at this point in time. And
Would scaring them work?
Yeah, I
probably.
think part of it is that we have to stop the mining, right? So we might just need to convince them that like there's something dangerous in the mine that they need to stop.
Yeah, it sounded like we need to talk to the tower regent or the tower master.
I think one thing is that based on what you know of the region, they're going to make things worse, because they're going to do the right thing, but they're going to do it forcefully.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other option is we could talk to the town warden and give them the information.
That's true.
Yeah. But the regent and the headmaster won't like that.
That's fine.
You're
It's fine. It's fine.
That's true.
There are
They
less
won't.
people. There are arguably more people in the town who need saving than there is in the tower.
I think this is mostly about the order in which we tell people, not if we tell people or not. And
Yeah.
I think starting with the town mayor, letting them formulate their own plan, giving them that information freely, and then coming back and telling the regent. Once that's in motion is probably the way to go.
Yeah. Are you leaning towards who's gonna go do it? Do we do a
I mean, I don't have a problem letting the warden know.
No, we can talk to the town people, to the town warden.
Alternatively, we can kill this thing in its sleep, right, before it wakes up.
That is an option. Like,
How do you kill a colossus?
Yeah. How do you kill it?
I think there are different colossuses. Each of them you can kill their own way. I mean, if it's below us, if there's a mine that's already maybe you just dig into its head and drop a huge anti-colossus bomb in there.
Won't that fuck up the city? I mean, our town?
A small anti-colossus bomb?
I mean, I think there's also the aspect of the town may or may not believe the tower that there is a colossus. So yeah.
And if it destroys the town, that was going to happen either way. I mean, just practically speaking.
God damn it, Scrib.
I think
Choices.
I think I think Hans is going to kind of try to trust in things and go to the town warden and try to talk to them and convince them there is a colossus sleeping under all of us. It's going to wake up if we keep mining things. We need to start thinking about some kind of evacuation plan. If that is something that you want at all, or something like that. I think maybe is that a move? That's probably a move, isn't it?
It could be a move. Are you gonna bare your soul to them?
I guess I could. I am thinking of like
Or maybe you what was it?
I could do unyielding.
Who's your
un-
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna ask who's your core.
Yeah, cool, yeah.
My core is Ansel.
what would Ansel do in this situation?
Well, Ansel. I think Ansel would do what I'm trying to do. I think Ansel would just like ferry all of the people out of town. Really try to figure out a way to evacuate, because that's kind of what they did way back in the day with the people in his city when things fell apart. So it kind of like makes sense that Hans would go for this kind of an option. Um, yeah, I think I can do like unyielding, for example. I can roll will
Hmm?
to attempt to swing the situation towards my favor.
All right,
See.
go ahead.
Let's see. That's a will roll, which
Yeah.
I have. How much will do I have? I have two. Let's see. Will I overshoot today? Who knows? That is a. Oh, yeah. That is a 4d6, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. 12. I rolled 12.
Wow. Nice. You've moved the situation in your favor. Give yourself or teammate +1 dice for your next will roll. So yeah, go ahead. You have the floor. You have a full success. So what you describe happens.
So I tell the Tower Warden in a very like impassioned but also like evidence-based way, because I guess I bring the book that like you were reading, that Skirm was reading. Look at this thing. It is exactly the thing that is on our town is on, and we've been observing that there are signs that it'll wake up. The entire town is going to get wrecked if it wakes up. So we need to either get out or just shut the mines completely. But if we shut the mines, that's not good for any of us. So we should probably just move, if that's possible at all. And so like he's pointing to the book, he's explaining, he's like giving options and hoping that they'll listen. The +1 dice I guess I'm going to give is to I guess to 9 if you have anything you want to do.
So you should 100% give it to 9 because I think
Yeah, sure. So I get a +1 to the next will.
Next will roll.
any will roll, yeah. if you do one. Yeah.
So yeah, what does 9 think of the situation?
I think she's antsy. This is like kind of like logistics and planning work, which she's not familiar with. She's kind of like looking for some direct action,
Yeah.
right? So maybe maybe it's the like what's the most pressing need, right? Like if Hansel and Scream are like trying to convince the tower to take action, 9 is like I'm not good at talking, I'm good at doing things. So maybe she is just going to like the dockyards and like trying to like find ships that can be modified for to increase passenger space, stuff like that. I think she's gonna like jump ahead and like see or maybe not just the timeline wise, right? Like, if this has this been approved?
Yeah.
No, right? So I think all she is like is she's going and taking stock of like how many vessels like we could potentially commandeer and modify, right?
Sounds like a joint hands. Joint hands move.
Kind of like helping out. Yeah, I could do that. You want me to roll that?
Yeah, go ahead and roll for that. Yeah.
So join hands is. Oops, I think I just skipped past it.
I was expecting more slice of life, but it turned out like this, so that's cool.
I mean, we did stop at a cafe on the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a scene. That was like a scene there, which was cut. You know, it was quite lengthy in the manga, but just for the purposes of this series, you know, they're like, oh, it's gonna destroy the pacing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a -1 to will, but then I get a +1, so that's
Okay.
a 0.
Okay, go ahead.
You roll 2d6 always.
Yeah. And did the bonus you give him +1 or +1 dice?
+1
Plus
dice. Yeah, so roll 3d6 and then -1.
Yeah. So I got. Oh no, sorry. My -1 was the crown, so I've got actually +2 will. So do I roll
Okay. Okay.
5 dice?
Yeah.
No, you roll the 3 dice and then add
3 dice,
2 to
add
the
2.
result.
Yeah.
No.
No?
Sorry. The way that the stats work is your +2s are the number of dice you roll additional to your 2d6.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a
Okay.
+2 will, you roll 4d6.
Yeah. So I actually rolled 5d6.
Yeah.
Overshoot.
9, 10, 13. Oh wow! Right on the border.
No.
There you go. There's the overshoot.
No.
Right on.
Okay.
So you and your partner work right in sync, bearing excellent awards. Both of you will roll your next moves with advantage. Yeah.
Wow.
So while Hansel is like talking to the tower, I come in, right? Like it's just like I already maybe it's because like I've been very, very friendly with the people at the dockyards, right? All the himbos band together, you know. And I managed to like get all the manifests and like you know bills of the shipping schedules like for the next few months or so, right? Like I just get all the paperwork ready, and it's like I knock on the door and come in. It's like, hey, this is what you sent me to go and find, right? And then I hand it to Hansel, and like here, the captains don't know exactly what's going on yet, but they trust us enough that like if if we call for an emergency, that they're ready to help, right? Like they're sharing information with us.
Hans goes like, "You're amazing!" Like kind of like holding your cheeks. You're amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you both you and Hansel will roll with advantage for the next few rolls. Everything's been going fine so far.
I got that by promising to help out with like loading and unloading for like the next week or so to like different companies.
The thing is, I have to not overshoot, or else bad stuff happens. I think that's how it works. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting. So basically, the three of you have started your own non-tower related evacuation suit.
Going rogue.
You're going rogue. I think that the main issue here is that obviously, how does this doesn't happen in one day, right? This happens like over the course of a week or 2 weeks.
The evacuation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose
Yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah. So I think around the second week is when the region starts to take note. All right. Um, so I think what this looks like is, have you been doing this openly or under the nose of the region? Like, are you hiding what you're doing?
Considering Scrim and Hansel's
I
relationships with the tower.
I would say
I
I don't know that
don't
I'm. Go ahead.
think so. I don't think so. I think we had planned to tell them after like things were more at pace, right?
Yeah, but I think the presentation, and I can do the lead on this one. The presentation is like, so after that initial encounter, and probably like a day or two into the evacuation, like once we know the evacuation is happening, the mining has stopped, and we actually see the motion on things. I actually think that maybe we point, like, that's when we tell the regent, but I think it's presented as, have you noticed the town is evacuating? Not, we told the town to evacuate. And we can put it a week in, right? We can put maybe a week has gone by, and the town has started to evacuate. And that's kind of when I and whoever wants to be in the scene go to the regent and point it out. Like, have you noticed the town is evacuating? We know the colossal is coming. Based on some evidence that we found, we think it may be beneath the city. And is it beneath the tower also too then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole, like, basically this whole place, it is the colossal.
Yeah.
Like, this whole place. When you go in, you kind of realize that the region and the headmaster sort of like harshly talking about something on your own. Like, before you walk in, you know that they are very frantically discussing about something important, but you don't know what it is yet.
I'll wait till they stop and I'll say, is this a good time?
Richard just sort of like brushes you off and says, "No, it's not a good time. Why? What do you need? Why does it have to be now?"
And that's what I'll point out. Like, I don't know if you noticed the town is evacuated. I slide the book over. I'm like, it looks like the tower and the town are on top of a colossal. I know that the town, it seems, has made preparations to start their departure, to no longer aggravate the colossal, but perhaps the tower should enact some sort of plan as well.
They sort of they kind of look at you like genuinely shocked. Richard himself is quite visibly upset that you did not run this through him. I think
before bringing it to both of them.
Yeah. Basically, he goes on a tirade about how this will make the tower look bad, how this insubordination will affect the unity presented by the tower. Like, you should have gone to them first.
Wait, but I think Scrim, you're not revealing our complicity.
I'm not. I did not tell them about our complicity. This is me pointing out, hey, have you noticed the town is doing this? I think it's because of the colossal, not we told the town this information. I am 100% hiding the fact that we told them.
Oh, okay. So you're just saying that the town is evacuating because
here's one fact. Here's another fact.
Okay.
They are connected, but not because of us necessarily.
The headmaster just asks you, just very gently, in a very calm, soothing, but very firm and slightly anxious voice, like, where are you evacuating the town to?
Oh, I mean, I believe they're just leaving.
But where are they leaving to?
Oh, I'm sure other towns, other towers. They might even come back. I don't know if I mean, I think this is a problem we can resolve, and they hopefully everyone can come back here. I mean, it seems like this is something the tower should be able to handle and allow them to return. Right now, I think they were just concerned for their lives and leaving. If we can resolve the issue, they'll probably come back.
My goodness.
I am not making eye contact with either of them.
Richard just goes like, he does this, and you get the sense that something is quite wrong. Basically, flashback to a few weeks ago where they've been sending other agents on recon, and Richard very, very, very strangely tells you that no, they did not know about the colossal beneath the town, but no, they did not tell you about the colossal outside the town.
Oh my lord!
So when the headmaster approaches Scrim, goes like, "Where are they evacuating to? Did they just leave?"
Look, I'm gonna look, look, we can only probably handle one colossal at a time. But I don't see any reason why if we take care of this one that we shouldn't be able to take care of the other one afterwards.
But either way, the townspeople, they are leaving into an area where there is absolutely a colossus.
Well, they're in sky ships. I mean, I know colossals are big, but I mean, they can always go higher.
I think is Scrim talking off his ass now.
Scrim is ultimately confident that yes, this is a resolvable problem and not a big deal.
Okay.
So, can I just clarify something? So
Yeah.
the tower knows about both colossals?
No, they don't. They didn't know about the one beneath because you didn't tell them about this, but they were researching another colossal outside the town. So the headmaster is sort of like Orpheus is kind of stuck. He doesn't know. His training did not prepare for this situation. But you can tell that he's quite upset at Scrim for not. He asked Scrim like, "How did you know that? How did the town know that there was a colossus underneath the city? If anything, we should have known first. So how did they find out?"
Well, I mean, we didn't know first.
I'm asking you a question, Scrim.
I did. I said we didn't know first.
Is that
like I'm just answering his question with a question?
That's not an answer. That's not. So what you're saying is somehow the town found out and it was able to investigate and identify a colossal not using our tech or information, but they somehow knew it was a colossal.
Well, I mean, they've been mining in the ground. I mean, there's all these gems around that are, they've just discovered, and maybe someone found something down there.
And 9 is 100% looking outside the window. Wow, very interesting.
Like I'm not gonna turn my friends in for sure.
They know something doesn't add up.
Oh, 100%.
They know something doesn't add up.
I think I want to harness my hubris. Here.
Make a bargain or push yourself.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna push myself. I'm going to basically like logic them through a few possibilities that essentially kind of turn this around as like, well, the city could have found out on their own. They were upset and no one's upset anymore. And also, it really doesn't matter if there's one out there because they might encounter the one out there, but they were certainly going to get destroyed by the one that was here. And basically use that as a charming way to distract them from the fact that yes, it was probably us that told the town, by bearing home kind of the immediate danger that we are in. And again, like being like, look, there's one out there that's great. There's one underneath us, and that's a bigger problem. And so, yeah, I think this is just kind of me pushing my charm to the max. I think what this does.
Can I?
Go ahead.
What's the great cost? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, somebody's got a great cost. That's great. Yeah.
Would unyielding apply in this situation? The unyielding move?
I thought about unyielding. I think I want to harness my hubris instead. Like, given, yeah, I think this really is like me putting myself, essentially out of position. Like I am. This is. I'm confronting two people who I very much am uncomfortable confronting. And I think this is more about me drawing on the tactical, like, the tactical ideals of Galda more than it is me being, me particularly being like, here's how I'm going to convince you of this, right? This is me presenting like tactically running around them. I do think like, I think the risk that I want to run is they're 100% not convinced. Like they have no suspicion that it was either of my two friends. They're 100% convinced that I told the townspeople, but they also are convinced that I am right. Like we have to deal with one of these problems, like the problem that is physically immediate to us before we can consider anything else.
So they absolutely believe that it's you who went behind their backs and betrayed you and betrayed them, basically.
Yeah, but just me.
Just you. All
and I think there's probably like even a dismissive statement that's made at the end, kind of like, of course it would be you. But also like, if there will be a reprisal, but only in future episodes of this, not necessarily in this episode. In this episode, they're going to act.
Okay. So basically they make a deal with you. Is after we are done with this, we're gonna deal with you specifically. But now they're at a loss because now they're thinking like, basically there is another colossal out there. You just told the people to leave and evacuate to an indescript location. You just told them to leave. So basically, even if the colossal here was about to awaken, you basically push them towards their death, basically, because this could the one beneath us could awaken in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years even, but the one out there, that one's awake. So we're gonna have to come up with a plan. I'd say we get the townspeople back in here. It's good.
What's your proposal for doing that?
You just tell them to come back here. We'll protect. We'll hold them in here. The walls are good enough to protect from a colossal, hopefully. And then we'll deal with the one outside first.
And what about all the people who have already left?
We tell them to come back. You're going to go out and tell them to come back.
And y'all are going to deal with the one Colossus trampling on the other Colossus.
You are going to deal with it.
Oh,
you are going to.
But I thought I was going to get them and tell it. I can only do one thing at a time.
You and your team, we'll direct you from here.
Okay.
Can I just say these Tower Masters suck? I'm going to... Can I pull a move?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to pull a Ready After All. Where... Let me just read it properly in case I'm abusing this power. So already after all, I'm declaring that I did something in the past that shows how I'm prepared for this obstacle. Is it entirely possible for me to have determined a safe place for the people to evacuate to? Since um, Nine did provide like a thing about like the captains, um, I suppose, like listening to us, and maybe we determined like, I don't know, like maybe Hansel's family has like connections in another town that is definitely like away from any colossal path to kind of like direct the people evacuating towards that direction. And like
Yeah, sure.
perhaps we could do that. Um just that just so that like we could have more of a bargaining chip towards these tower masters to convince them that getting the people out is the best course of action, I guess, or something like that.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Sure. Uh, so they accept this. They accept this. They accept this, and they're still sort of like holding some sort of like resentment against
Mhm.
Scrim. But in regards to like the colossal outside and the people evacuating, there is you thought ahead, you thought smart, and yeah, there's no problem on that front. So everything sort of like not calms down, but things start to focus in on what you want to deal with right now, which is the moth beneath the town.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, how do you go about and do that? Is there like a moment? Do the three of you sort of like share a moment, or do you just get on with it?
I think I look at Scrim in a slightly like, I guess, grateful kind of look, in that sort of like, thanks for not selling us out.
They're like, he's like, well, I don't know what we're going to do about the moth, but I'm certainly not going to be able, or the monarch, but I'm certainly not going to be able to talk our way out of it. So I'm going to need you to do something about that.
Um,
It's
I
also
I
implied that Scrim is going to lose their job at the tower after this.
A what?
Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
No, that Scrim is also implied that Scrim is going to lose their job at the tower after this incident is over.
Cool. Way to incentivize your workforce, Tower Masters.
so I guess we need to figure out how to deal with this Carnelian Monarch.
Actually, based on what the Tower Masters have revealed, right, that there's another colossal. Like, is the Tower Monarch the more pressing issue or the other one?
You're not sure because the other colossal doesn't seem to be coming near the town just as of yet, but it could very well do that.
But also, the Carnelian Monarch, according to the Masters, might not awaken for a while, right?
Yeah.
So is the other colossal a more pressing matter? Like, if the two monarchs come close to each other, what's going to happen?
I feel like if a colossal does come near a colossal, one of them is going to get quite territorial, and either way, the town is going to get involved.
Yeah.
Get caught in the middle of it.
That's why I loved their theory of like, this colossal is going to come walk on this other sleeping colossal's head, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. That's not a problem.
I suppose to make this spicier, the headmasters are telling you to deal with the other colossal outside the town, but you know but you yourself know, with evidence, that the monarch is gonna awaken sooner rather than later.
Yep.
Yeah.
We just let them fight.
Yeah,
If they do
like,
fight,
how-
there'll be
like-
no cloud.
I'm
the
a big
town on
fan
its
of
back.
can we get a kaiju battle to happen? I am a big fan of that.
We just like lure them towards each other and let them fight, like maybe somewhere far from us.
Is that our plan? Like, do we wait until the town people are gone and then lure one colossal close to the moth so it wakes up?
I
let's do
mean,
that.
I guess it's an idea.
I love that idea.
I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna stop you.
Yeah. So what attracts? We don't know anything about. Did they tell us anything about the other colossal?
You know that
go
it's. You can go find out. Yeah, actually, yeah, you can go and find out. All you know is that it's a horde of some kind.
Let's go
A
find
horde
out.
of some kind. Okay, I think I know what it is.
I love pre-gens. Sorry, go ahead.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
So I guess we want to go find out then. Once we are sure the evacuations are almost complete, head out towards the other colossal.
Yeah, I want to go out.
Oh God, is it the Glimmer Gate? It's the Glimmer Gate, isn't it?
I would like to physically get out of here.
Yeah.
I think I've done as much, like, if this is like sometime later, right? Like I've done as much like physical work as I can to like help prep the ships. But I'm jonesing to like get out into the field and actually do some work. In fact, like potentially like this is something where maybe like no one believes me, right? But like my town previously, like Constant Return died because like some colossal like basically just stepped on our town.
Damn.
And like I just want to get out there and like see what I can of this colossal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Yeah.
How does be bring to light? Sorry, Aaron, you going to say something?
Sorry, was it Bring to Light? I was just trying to figure out what
You're trying to figure out which one, which move to roll to find out more about this colossus, right?
Yeah, it can be Bring to Light. It can be Stay True with your name, since you're pulling on like background stuff if you want. It's up to you really.
Bring to Light is fine. I just need to roll one die.
Oh, you did have one.
Yeah.
Oh god.
You
Just need a 6, right? Don't worry about it.
yeah, it's you roll 2d6 plus like whatever modifier you have.
Yeah, I have a -1 in Crown.
Oh, okay. No, so then you just roll 2d6. 2d6.
Oh, so the -1
Yeah.
doesn't
Stream.
apply?
The -1 is if it goes under like 2d6, it's kind of like a disadvantage of some sort. So you roll
3d6.
you roll 2 sets of 2d6 and take the lower.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So I'll do that then. First one's a 7. Second one is a 9. Regardless, it would have put me at
Okay.
16. Yeah.
Learn something important about target, but now realize knowing this comes with a risk. Choose one of the following. You learn something that has not been known for a long time. You learn that there is a major falsehood standing in your way. You learn that there are others after this truth. Which one do you feel?
Yeah, I guess the first one, I learned something that has not been known for a long time. More people knowing this may shatter what is presently defined as normal. So yeah, what do I learn? Can I suggest something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Not so much what exactly it is, but like how I find it out. I want constant return to be the one that like tells me about this, because they're dead by a colossal.
I think it will make sense if this is the colossal that killed them and their souls attached to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is a colossal that
So all the souls of like my my hometown also bound.
yeah. Like this is a colossal that sort of like not absorbs souls, but sort of like stitches them to it. Like it exists in both realms. As part of like the cut off bit of magic, right? Like this is an undead colossal, basically. That's what you know. And you know that it's going to grow in power if it manages to get to the town. Yeah. So, I'm doing this specifically to push your martyrdom complex.
Right. So if it gets too close to the town, like even if there's another colossal there, like it might just overpower the other one and just destroy everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a Tuesday. So this is something that has not been known for a long time, and more people knowing this may shatter what is presently defined as normal. So it will just like change all our plans, right?
Yeah. Also, the idea that colossals are purely biological beings. This is something related to chaos sources, basically. And if we do play more sessions, this will open up for magic. I guess, yeah. So yeah, you know that you also find out that based on constant return, that it is actually heading towards the town. It's actually actively seeking out life to steal.
Is it trying to steal the life from the monarch or from the town?
You're not sure.
Fuck.
But where there is life signs, it'll try and like suck it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I come back and say like, whatever plan we had about the colossal, like we need to like accelerate it to like take this one out because it's more dangerous even than the Carnelian Monarch, it seems.
Will it be stronger after it sucked the life out of the Carnelian Monarch, or is it just going to suck it out because it's hungry?
It'll get stronger.
Okay.
Yeah.
This might become something that no tower can take on.
Okay, well, I guess not bite. What do we do instead?
The options seem to be then, I guess, if not to fight, then to divert.
To where is the question?
I mean, that seems to be the challenge. I mean, I think if the concept is if this thing consumes this colossus, then it gets too powerful and could destroy the world, then it seems any direction we point it in has the chance to do a similar thing.
How do we... Sarah, because you've gleaned some new information about this other colossal, is there any sort of like where does it draw power from?
The souls it consumes.
The souls it consumes. Do we then need to exorcise it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that would work.
If we can exorcise all of the souls it has consumed, it won't have power, right?
That's true.
Easier said than done.
And now all we need is for you to build a machine to exercise a horde of soul-consuming monsters.
I think you need to build a giant ghost trap.
Yeah.
Can you do that without magic? Is that possible?
I have a thing called the Master's Touch, where whenever I am wrecking a construct or creating or something, manipulating a machine or activating, I can adjust my roll up and down, etc. So I guess I start working. Start working on something to suck out all of the souls that that it has consumed. Um, uh, Let me figure out a move to pair this up with.
This very much is the most recent Ghostbusters reboot movie. Now at this point in time.
I did not watch that, so I have no idea.
Spoilers from the very beginning of the movie. They turn a farm into a giant ghost trap.
Oh, okay. I guess a giant ghost trap would be the solution. An ally is about to get hurt. I guess. Where's that thing? I guess work on something special is the easiest, the one that makes the most sense. Eh? It's a crown move. I can try to do that.
All right, go ahead.
And I can adjust it 1 or 2 according to what I want. Let's see. I have 1 crown, which means I can roll 3d6. 6, 11. Okay, that is a 12.
All right.
I just make it. I'm like, there.
All right, go ahead and describe how that works. Like, what does that look like?
So I think Hans disappears for like a whole 2 days, just in their workshop, and all you hear is like the bang, 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 like it's just loud in there, and like you have to remind him to eat because he's just like working nonstop on this massive sort of vacuum-looking thing, and I guess it. I don't have any other way to describe it other than it looks like a giant vacuum cleaner. And it just kind of, you just point it in the direction of the thing, and then supposedly I have imbued it with some Coraline Arcana to suck the souls out of this Colossus.
This Luigi's Mansion now.
It should work. Maybe.
All right.
So
Cool.
the only course of action now that I will leave to the rest of my team is how to actually
Use it.
bring it in front of said colossal and like push the button.
All right. So by the time you finish like building it, you see this sort of like shambling, almost zombie-like horde of sea creatures. This kind of like sea creatures sort of like grouped together, just sort of like rumbling towards the monarch. The monarch itself, it is still asleep for now. Yeah, but you know that as it comes closer, there is a chance that it'll wake up. So yeah, Scrim and 9. How do you want to go about using this device? This gigantic device. I assume it's big enough to like warrant it being carried around by horse on cart, right? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Aaron, go ahead. I've only got bad ideas right now.
Bad ideas are the best ideas.
Go ahead.
Can I during this time I'm gonna check in with the regent and the head, like, on our progress while this is getting built, and letting them know what we've been up to. When we're ready to deploy it, I would like them to come down and watch it happen. Is that okay? That is what I would like. I want to use the quiet them down move. With the goal being that I want to use the regent and the headmaster and myself a little bit as bait. And I've been kind of convincing them to come out into the area where we're going to do this vacuum exorcism, to kind of draw the horde towards us at the last minute instead of straight at the monarch.
Yeah, sure. I don't think they have much of a say, because they do want to inspect you. So yeah, go ahead. When you do attack, this is gonna count as an attack. You can take a point to your armor. All right, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I took the point. And yeah, so it succeeds and it'll suppress the enemy's movement. But I'll so, like, I think the three of us are now like the horde is right next to us. Not the three of us. Y'all can be safe wherever you want. Not Aaron's character. He's probably down there with us, but at least for the Vichard and Orpheus and myself are definitely right next to all these things now.
All right. So which one of you is gonna pull the trigger?
The slow, like, I love that.
Yeah, I think I want to try something before like pulling the trigger on this, right? I think I want to try and talk to a constant return, and get them and to kind of like talk to like harness the rest of the ghosts that are bound to this horde, to try and like like influence its movement to maneuver it into the trap, right?
So you're basically asking her to use the power of friendship.
Yeah. To use the power, like it's very terrible, right? Like you got yourself trying to save me once. I'm asking you to. I don't know what happens when all the souls get sucked into this weird machine. But I think it's good. You'll no longer be bound to a weird horde of souls. Maybe it's good.
They just tell you that they would do it on in exchange if you help them get a second chance at life again.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Whoa. I don't know how I would do that. I'm not very smart, but I've got friends who know things who might be able to help with that. I will promise anything to make this happen.
Just sort of like float down with you and put their hand through your face and just rub your cheek, even though you don't feel it, but you know it's there, and just go like, promise is a promise. Sure thing. We'll do this. I'll do this for you. I'm not sure what move this is.
Stay true to your name. Might be.
Stay true.
That feels good.
You'll say true your name? All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So that's 4 dice because it's a will.
Mm-hmm.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh.
You've got the right idea, but your execution has left something to be desired. You only achieve some of what you were hoping to do. Gain a penalty of -1d for your next will roll.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So you only achieve some. Which part do you want to achieve from your plan?
Convincing convincing some of the souls to do this,
Okay.
right?
Let's say the souls do manage to push it near to the souls do manage to push it near enough to the vacuum, in order for it to strike. Why don't Sin? So does should we roll for the vacuum, or should we? Sin, why don't you just describe how the vacuum works? Like, what? Give us like a cinematic rundown of how this will go.
So I guess 9 pushes the button and like it kind of like whirs into life, like, whoa. And like all the like lights on the side kind of like boot up and stuff, and it begins like as I guess you feel the earth tremble beneath our feet because like the Colossus is like coming towards us. I guess it begins like you start to see, I guess, like the leaves from some of the trees nearby start to kind of like get pulled in by the suction, and then there's like a strange, I guess, look on the colossal as it kind of like looks like it's slowly getting sucked in. And like, do we want like a thing where the ghost plasma starts like pouring out of its like body or something like that?
Yeah, you can there's like very visibly you can see like the ghost just sort of like bleed out of its corpse,
Yeah,
and
it's
sort of like
like,
get sucked into the machine.
yeah.
There's like a rumbling sound as the machine tries its best to contain itself, but unfortunately at that very moment, you also see like the very soul of the Colossus's soul itself gets sucked inside the machine as well. That causes the machine to overload,
No.
releasing sort of like a plume of like ectoplasm into the sky. Before you know it, the sky itself starts to turn dark, and like ghosts start to drop down to the ground into the town.
Oh God.
We felt the earth move under our feet, and now the sky is tumbling down. I think my heart is trembling here.
I love that.
All right.
That's so
Okay. Shall we end it on this cliffhanger?
Yes.
Yeah, it feels good.
I feel like this is about
Sounds
time.
good.
So if we were doing a campaign, that would be you have to like deal with the issue of the ghosts and all that.
Next time on
Navathems.
That was chaotic.
Awesome.
Okay.
Let's do our reaction roll. Reaction roll is a live stream inside of a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the creator of a game we just played and talk to them about what it was like to play that game. Today we are playing Navathem's End with Sinta Posadas. Sin, it's been so good to have you on. Also, we had special guest GM Sam Mui running for us. But Sam, for people who are Sin. For blah, 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 2 S names. Sin, for people who are just joining us, why don't you tell them who you are, what you do, and tell us a little bit about the game.
Hi, so again, I am Sin. I am a game designer from Metro Manila, Philippines. I designed Navathems End that we played today. It is a game where you play as agents trying to stop the apocalypse. And this apocalypse happened 800 years ago, and it's back, and you're trying to push it away and hope that it doesn't destroy the world. It is available on diwatamnl.itch.io for digital right now, and we're still on the giveaway, right? We haven't figured out who we're going to give it away
I've
to.
not picked it up, so you can hit _tower to get entered into a chance to win a digital copy of the game.
And I hope that when you do pick up the game, I hope you guys enjoy it. It was really fun to be a player for once. I've been running a campaign for this, like with the old playtesting crew for it, and we're I think coming up to 2 years into the campaign. We're currently trying to stop a zombie apocalypse from breaking out in a major city in my campaign, so that's fun. So yeah, I'm happy to see other people play it. I'm happy to see it on a stream and stuff. It's cool.
Awesome. I had a good time playing. Let's hear from some of our other players. Let's start with Aaron. Aaron, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to play the game?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Aaron Lim. I am a tabletop game designer, game maker, based in Petaling Jaya in Malaysia. And yeah, you can find all my stuff at Aaron Lime on Twitter, EHRONLIME, and on itch.io with the same name as well. And yeah, I really enjoyed the threads and like the setup and like having like tying like your ideals to like specific things in the world, like specific icons with the Core 7 and like relationships with the tower and with each other as well. So that was like incredible. Like the threads like added so much to the experience of the game. Like even without the talking about like like special abilities or like the classes, as much as that's fun, but like I felt like just having the threads and the quirks and the backgrounds and the ways they were written with the questions and all were really great to like just get started into like role playing in the game. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Do you have any questions for Sin?
Not right now, but yeah, if something comes up.
Awesome. Let's hear next from Sam. Sam, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to run Navathem's End?
Hi, my name is Sam, aka Babblegum Sam, on Twitter and Itch.io. Let's see. Yeah, you can catch me making releases on Capitalites and Slice of Life, autobiographical urban Asian role-playing game. I think it's quite a personal game to me, so do check it out because it's my real life. There's also Lumen Rider, which is not my real life. You just play a bunch of transforming heroes fighting evil and crime and doing ridiculous things. So yeah, that's also in good fun. For me, I think I agree with Aaron a lot. This is a very interesting. There's a lot of like space for like character exploration. A lot of space for like, I think the threats themselves and the hubris bonds they do like, I can tell in the long-term campaign it's gonna be very juicy to play, especially when like all the consequences you have start piling up against you, when like the threat of the world threat of the apocalypse becomes heavier and heavier. I wish we had more time and more sessions to sort of like flesh it out. But I mean, this is just a one shot, so like that's gonna happen for sure. But yeah, I feel that this game is honestly Navathem's portrays itself, but like it does feel automatically like a apocalyptic fantasy game. But I don't think it is mainly. I think it's mainly a game about kind of messy people trying to navigate a very dangerous world with the constant looming threat of death, right? It's all about those characters and how they relate to one another. So I'm quite interested. Quite interested to see how this plays on the long-term campaign. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any questions that you want to ask then?
How much of your real life is in this game?
Do we mean like
especially the hubris?
Well, I have a lot of like life background in that like I moved a lot in my earlier years. So it's a lot of like kind of uprooting myself and like putting myself in some new place and like kind of trying to meet new friends and then like losing those friends when I move again and then etc. So like when it comes to like the interpersonal relations between like agent to agent, agent to NPC, agent to tower, I think that's where a lot of my personal stuff is in. And I guess maybe that's why the character creation part is so I tried to like really make the character creation a dynamic
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, yeah. It's, there's so many layers to a single person. I guess that's what I kind of wanted to to have. Mhm.
Yeah, love it. Sid, I have a question for you before I share my thoughts.
Sure.
Also, if anybody in the chat has thoughts, feel free to, or questions, feel free to drop them in now. But you said this is your first time you get a chance to like kind of sit down and play your own game. I'm sure outside of like, some of the rudimentary playtesting, what was that experience like for you? And is there anything it kind of revealed to you about the design that you maybe thought about from a different perspective as you were approaching it?
Well, it's for one, it's great because I I always want to be able to play as a player in my games instead of like always being the one to GM, because for me it gives me the chance to see how somebody would pilot it and kind of like take it and run with it, without me having to always kind of butt in all the time, like because if you're the GM, you have to like do all of the mechanics and the etc. But to watch somebody else take it and like run with it and kind of run even just a one shot with it with like lore that they build on the fly is just so much fun to me to see. And like for me, that's like, yay, we did good. We created a system that works, and that's, I guess, like the most important part to me. And to be able to also kind of like just see how the moves can be played into as a player, kind of like choose from the roster um, on the fly is also kind of fun, because when you're designing it, you create these moves and you think, oh, they're probably going to use it in this way, and then half the time they use it in a completely different way, and like that's part of the fun of it, I think.
Awesome. Blake in the chat wants to know, are the colossals supposed to be a metaphor for climate change? And I'll just broaden that out to, are they metaphors for anything?
Not intentionally. They were supposed to be okay. The way that the Colossus came about is so a lot of the history of Navathem is actually based off of old campaigns that I ran before in the same setting, because Navathem has existed in my head for a long time. And the Colossus that existed at the time was kind of somebody's like petty revenge plot, like because this wizard, because nobody believed them, the colossals came to be, that kind of thing. So you could kind of say that it's a metaphor, and that like some people say climate change is happening, nobody believes them, suddenly it's here. I guess you could kind of say that it's kind of a metaphor for that. You can read it as a metaphor for that, but like for me it's also a lot of like because at present supposedly people believe that they're asleep, or like that they're dead, or that those things are just bones asleep. I guess it's meant to build that kind of atmosphere of lingering tension, and that all seems calm on the surface, but like something else might be brewing under there. That's like the main purpose of the Colossus, really. So yes, maybe, perhaps.
I'm one of the coolest things about them that I just want to give people a sense of is some of the sample ones you have in the book, which I think are tremendously helpful and fun. the art in the book is gorgeous. A couple different pieces, but I will say the different kind of Colossus draws in the back of the book are probably my favorite pieces of art. They've got like a tremendously kind of like old school fantasy vibe to them. I popped the King of Dead Cities up next to us so folks can see it. And
our artists really knocked it out of the park.
Like they're just such good vibes. Even just to pick up, I'm going to show one more. What is this? The mountain with living roots. Even just pick up and plop into your game, any other game is a big thing. Is a very cool, just like setting element, and they're absolutely amazing. And so I just it is like there's a few different types of art in the book. I think they all mesh really well together. This one actually kind of stands out in a way that still meshes very well with everything else, but lately it pops. It's got this like really great black on white line art. It's very evocative, and I absolutely like paused and scrolled through as I was going through initially a couple times just to kind of take them all in. So they're very cool, and each comes with like a page or two of notes.
If you like that kind of art, that art is actually made by our artist Off Proco. I'm gonna put their Twitter handle on the chat.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
There you go. Their commissions are open right now, so if you want to hire them, go right ahead. But we deliberately tried to make these art pieces for the Colossus kind of pretty vague, so that you can kind of just like plop it into your game, regardless of like what part of the campaign you're in, if this is the catalyst for the actual campaign or not. And we wanted to make it look interesting, but also this lore is not like set in stone, so you can do whatever you want with it,
Yeah. I thought it was really like just very cool tool set. I really enjoyed playing. It's one of the things with PBTA games is like essentially trying to do them in one session, especially Sam doing it in less than 3 hours is very impressive.
Amazing job. Yeah.
Like usually you want to like you've got at least one session of just setup, then another 2 sessions to kind of see pieces gel together. I think one of the really interesting things about this game particularly though is mixing in the Forge in the Dark components and the way the moves are structured allow for a lot more fluidity of time. Like in PBTA games, you and any other game, you might move forward in time pretty easily, but there's a lot of the moves that are designed to let you move forward, backwards, establish what you already planned, jump straight into action, take things slowly for a little bit, zoom back out, move things forward. There's a lot of pacing control that moving some of the different Forge in the Dark elements in really adds, and the way the moves themselves are written give a lot of like explanation of when and how you might use this move in kind of different ways. And I thought that was really really interesting in a way that I don't know that I've seen before in a game that like rolls the way that this one does. I did not understand initially how swingy the dice options were, because I didn't realize we were doing the +2 dice minus, like I didn't pick that up right away in my first pass through. And that makes the because it's so anybody who's not familiar with PBTA usually roll like 2d6, 6 or less is like, oh, you failed, but like something's still going to happen. 7 and 9 is a mixed success, and then 10 plus usually is like, yay. We're seeing a growing trend though, and this game takes advantage of it. Over a certain range is like, whoops, too strong. Things got bad because of that, and so 14 plus in this game is also a thing. And so that the fact that you can be rolling 4 or 6 dice at a time, even sometimes. Means that ability to push over that 14 is way more common than it is in a lot of games. And other abilities like let you move that down and other stuff like that. I'd love to hear a little bit more about where that came from, because it's a very cool feel. It lets you feel very powerful, but also there are times where you're like, I'm only going to roll 2 dice because I don't want to over succeed on this potentially. So tell me a little bit more about where that design choice came from.
It initially came as a genuine kind of like, I want to do something a little different with the ranges. of PBTA. So like Pam and I talked for a long time about how to do it, and then we had like the vaguest idea for an overshoot because they were actually Pam actually tried this in Sundo before, and so it worked pretty well there. So we figured let's also like use that in Navathem and see what we can make with it. So we added like the concept of like harm in case like you can choose to take harm, you can choose to take threads, and then the threads we like built like a huge table of like consequences, but they're not always bad really. Some they can be actually arbitrary to like arbitrary to what you're actually doing. Like it's just a random thing that suddenly pops up because it's a thread, right?
Yeah.
And the whole idea of it also is, I think it builds into the hubris concept, right? That like you as an agent are so strong-willed in that you really want to do this thing and you're trying to succeed, and because you have been trained for this all your life or for the past few years, um, you manage to do it, but uh, you do it a little too much, and I wanted to really kind of like dig into that your hubris, you are a force of nature. Your hubris kind of like changes things around you, and there is also the concept in the game in that chaos lives in everybody. So like it's kind of like lore wise, you could say that like your hubris kind of ripples around you if you want to kind of read it that way. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It creates a really strong like power fantasy vibe to the game that I think is very cool, because it's like if in some games it's like, hey, you're small and you're lowly, but like if you spend a lot of time and work your way up, you might eventually make a change. It's like, no, you might start out, make a roll, and immediately draw the intention of a faction in the world, or use so much power that you hurt yourself, or like it just starts you out on a very different scale. And I like it's a very, very cool mode to step into and level of play, especially in a game where you're using PBTA style play and you're able to kind of speak in to hear some of what's happening around you and here's what's in the world. Like it's a very, very strong way to also reinforce that capacity in play that I don't know that I've seen anywhere else. And then I just really want to shout out again, like the layering of your background, your hubris, and then I'm forgetting what it is, the other one. The
Tower bonds.
do what?
It's the tower bonds, the backgrounds, and the hubris bonds, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Well, the three different things that you layer in to actually build your character, right? Like you're gonna pick these three different elements, and because of the number of combinations, you can create a character with a very specific feel. It was really fun to go through like the core and pick out who was going to be my hubris bond, and think about how they connected to who my character was, how they complemented them, how they contrasted them, what that said about my character. Like it provided some really cool shape in an ideological way to my character that I don't, PBTA playbooks depend on tropes. And even when people are layering them, a lot of times it's like, hey, kind of mix two tropes. This one created a very much more fleshed out feel that I really, really enjoyed. And so, yeah, I love the threads list. The threads list is just super killer.
And we had a lot of fun writing that.
Yeah. I see Sam, Aaron, any more thoughts? Any other questions?
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just because like you mentioned, like this is based on a long running campaign and like elements from like previous campaigns that you've run as well. And understanding that like you have to adjust it for public use, right? What are your favorite like deep cut references that like only someone who's played in the previous games would know? Like, is there any, did you hide, or not hide, but like did you put in like your own characters, your favorite NPCs into the game? What's your favorite reference?
Well, for one, the core 7 are all my NPCs. Like they were all characters. They weren't player characters, but they were like NPCs that my player characters also interacted with. And in particular, Ansel the blade is interesting because Ansel didn't really exist. What existed was he was basically a homebrew D&D class. He was basically a homebrew D&D class that was very sword focused before the Blade Singer thing came out in Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Yeah, yeah. Before that one came out, I took like this homebrew concept of like a very sword focused warrior type thing. And I didn't know what else to call it at the time, and I called it Anselian Blade. And so I was like, it has to mean something. So I created Ansel, the concept of Ansel the Blade, and when I migrated it into to what Navathem currently is, I created him as like, that hero who basically created an entire discipline of like fighting because of his skill, etc. And he used that skill to like save his kingdom, etc. And that was kind of like the whole concept of it. Another one I think that is also kind of funny is the Mockingbird. Um, there is a in the history of Navathem, in like the little timeline, you can read something about the Mockingbird era, and it's this little clockwork bird because the way that happened was I wanted to run a kind of outlaw style campaign with some of my friends back in the day for Navathem, where they're literally running from the law, and they're not the concept of agents is not a thing at all. But the whole thing about the clockwork bird is that it's so dangerous that the governments across like that continent had declared that whoever tries to chase after it is they're basically outlawed, right? So the whole campaign concept was that you're chasing after this bird because it grants wishes. So that's a little throwback to it, I guess. Yeah. And supposedly it's still out there in the world. Who knows? Somewhere out there.
Love it. Well, I had a great time playing. I want to again encourage people to go check it out. The link is in the show notes. We're going to pick our winner, and it is C. It's our good friend C Fragment, who is maybe in the chat still, maybe not. If not, I'll message them
Are you
over on
there?
Discord because because we know them. They're in the Discord.
Move the glass if
And
you're
so,
there.
move the glass if you're still there. But if you are not, it's like I said, if it's one of the advantages of being in our Discord. If I know you, then it's super easy for me to find you afterwards and tell you won. I know that he was in the chat for most of the time with us, but may have had to go take care of kids in the evening also too. So we'll get him that code. We're also going to be giving away another copy over on social media next week also too. So keep an eye out for that also too. Sin, if people want to find out more about your work or follow the progress on the game, what's the best place for them to do that?
If you want to find out more about the game and like get up to date on its releases, you can go to NavathemRPG.com, and you can join our mailing list, or you can just wait for announcements on that page. You can also follow me on Twitter. That's at Dewata Manila on Twitter. Because I will definitely be making most of the announcements on there, and the website itself will have its own like updates and stuff. So those are like the two best places to go.
Perfect. Well, I encourage people to go follow you in both of those places. Also, just to remind everybody, we'll be back online tomorrow at noon playing Frontier Scum, and at 4 p.m. For the next episode of Funeral Party. And then we're going to be up in New York City on Saturday for Free RPG Day at the West location for Hex & Co. And then we're going to be off for a couple of weeks while I'm traveling for a sibling's wedding. But until next time we get together, we're just going to wave at the screen until I take us offline. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming to play.
Bye.